Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am MaryAnne and you are watching MaryAnne's Mystic Mentions, and I just want to stop and say thank you so much for stopping in, and especially to the new subscribers, recent subscribers. You know what I'm trying to say. Everybody's welcome. It's all inclusive. It is my absolute passion and love to have you here. So if you are new and you like what you see, please do subscribe for me. That is incredibly supportive. It helps the channel to grow and evolve, which, you know, is the whole purpose, right? And it means a great deal to me. So I started a love series at the beginning of June. And so what I'm doing is every day I'm picking 2 sun signs for the love series. And I do it just before I turn on the camera because I don't want to take extra time. Sometimes I've already done that coupling or it falls off the reel. So anyway, today's sun signs are going to be for the 2 signs of Gemini and Cancer. And then I'll take this out of the way and just show you. Yeah, here are my dice. Very scientific way about doing it, and my beautiful astrology wheel. And just kind of basically the format I've been doing is to break down a little bit of each sign in their personality traits, you know, why I think that they are well suited, because I do put emphasis on the positive. Yes, we're going to always have some differences in even the strongest and most committed relationships. And to me, that adds just more depth and beauty to the relationship. But this is about the reason that I think that the 2 sun signs, I'm only doing sun signs and it is general. Throughout my years of study, I feel it's pretty unbelievably uncanny as to why people do gravitate towards each other. So I mentioned some of the important aspects of that. I finished this then with the readings with my beautiful tarot energies for the 2 of you for the remainder month of June. Today's June 13th, 2020. Happy birthday, Geminis. It is your sun season and it's through the 20th. So I pray that you're doing well and that you've been growing and transforming, and it's going to be a magical year ahead. I really believe that. And so, yeah, that's an important part of this month and for the 2 of you. And so I do tend to do a little talking, like I said, and I can't do too much because it could go on for years. But if you are not interested in that, you can fast forward to the actual reading. And then I also bring up specific and important information that comes through my spirit guides, my psychic ability, my intuition, and the oracle and divinations I use to present those messages like a conduit to you. So let us get started. For the 2 signs, we're going to start with Pisces. Now, Pisces is a water element. So right off the bat, the other 2 water elements would be Cancer and Scorpio. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, the 12th sign of the zodiac. So it is said in mystical readings that the Pisces actually has a little bit of every single sign, you know, and all the knowledge and the understanding that transpired from all of the elements before them, you know, and taking in that kind of energy. So that's a pretty interesting and beautiful, powerful aspect to a Pisces. Pisces is also a mutable sign, and what that means is that Pisces are very adaptable, and they are able to fit into pretty much any situation. And I have found that to be very true. In fact, they are also known as almost like a chameleon, where sometimes you see them almost look different because depending on their environment and the influences of the environment, that's what they become. You know, majorly beautiful for acting, and a lot of incredible actors are Pisceans. And then you have so that's the elements. You have, the planet that they're ruled by is Neptune. And Neptune is notoriously known for being the illusionary planet, okay? The planet of illusion and fantasy and imagination and deception. So interestingly enough, it's a very powerful, sometimes kind of foggy planet when it's, not in great conjunction with your particular sign, which it's ruled by Pisces, so it's actually very beautiful for Pisces. But we do have it going retrograde at the end of the month. What retrograde means in this beautiful retrograde season we're in for all of us, and that'll be a total of 6 planets this month retrograde, is that they lose their energy when they're in retrograde, and they're not going supposedly forward. It's an illusion. They're actually not actually going backward when it's in retrograde. It just appears that way, and it definitely feels that way, as well as it brings us into great depth and an introspection into the circumstances of our life and how those planets affect us. So you'll be feeling that quite a bit, Pisces. And so the symbol of Pisces is the 2 fish tied together opposite direction, and that really symbolizes the changeable currents, in their temperament. There can be good changeable temperaments with them, definitely conflicting ideas as to directions they want to go. Very changeable. And so what else can I say? Well, the main, I think, characteristic words that would be best to describe Pisces would be definitely receptive. They are incredibly intuitive. They are imaginative. They are romantic. They are adaptable. They are impressionable. Definitely changeable, mystical, very mystical, and spiritually inclined. I mean, even if it's not because they're any kind of religious, although they tend to gravitate towards religious ideas and definitely esoteric and things that are mystical and not seen by the human eye necessarily. And very, very creative. Compassionate is the biggest word I can think of with Pisces, and certainly, what is that term? Empathic. You absolutely just sense energies. And this is important to know, because when that gets a little bit too much, Pisces need to have time to ground themselves, to have time alone. So it's not to be taken as anything, personal, but that time for them is a way to rejuvenate their energy, so to speak, and their batteries, so they can be the best and whole, beautiful, spiritually loving soul that they are. So that's what I have come to know. And just really quickly, there's that changeability aspect, because I have known Pisces that are extremely outgoing and very, very strong and very confident, generally running their own businesses. I mean, there are many, many entrepreneurial, once again, artists, ideas and inventive kind of, businesses that are incredibly beautiful and creative. And then you have another side, which is, I think, the duality of the 2 fishes and such, where there's more that introverted kind of soft, very ultra sensitive, not necessarily, outgoing or extroverted in any way. So you can get a little bit of both of those. You may know one of each, I certainly have. But then you go on to the Gemini. Now the Gemini is these, lastly I want to say, as far as the feminine and masculine, the Pisces is definitely under the category of feminine. So men and women alike. So both of the sun signs that I'm doing, doesn't matter what the gender is on either side, the Pisces or the Gemini. It's for both. But generally as a tendency, there's the ability to see and feel the maternal side of themselves. And then the Gemini is the element of air. So we are talking about the mind, the intellect, generally known to work and live through the mind versus their emotions, such as the Pisces. More emotion. Gemini, more cerebral, incredibly creative in ability to speak, to write, to communicate. They thrive on communication, on connection, on the spoken word or written word. They are ruled by the planet of Mercury. So Mercury is all about communication and travel, commerce. So yeah, always wanting to connect and express themselves and be heard. And they love peace, and they love equality, and they love fairness, and they're all about just being fun and exciting and really, fun people to be around. Yes, the symbol of the twins is the duality. That's a common known trait. And really, I think, which is what I will get to more, but what I absolutely think is the common thread between Gemini and Pisces is that duality between the two. So they get that. And they can see both sides to things, and they may be changeable, and you may see them as one thing one moment and something else another, but I think that they're able to adapt in that way too, to circumstances, that are changeable, which is a very important part of anyone's life. And so I think the words for Pisces would be, which I'm going back to for a moment, is I feel, and the words for Gemini, I'm sorry, I'm going off into Pisces land. How about Pisces rising is I speak, I understand, I speak, I know, kind of this beautiful, understanding and ability to talk and come up to any conclusion through the ability to verbalize it, which is way better than I'm doing right now. Forgive me for that. So the words about Gemini, best described, would definitely be communicative, versatile, artistic, changeable, definitely compassionate, thinkers and doers. The Gemini is a mutable sign as well. Another very cool connection with the two Pisces and Gemini. So you're also very capable of being versatile and adaptable in all circumstances, it's a really wonderful common aspect between the two of you, which I think really heightens the relationship. So now the two of you together, well, once again, the fact that you have this ability to kind of be versatile and changeable, you're fun seeking, you do enjoy all sorts of people and circumstances, you love the arts, you love creativity, you love finding out and learning about pretty much anything, that just really feeds your soul. So as a friend, a loving circumstance, a loving partner, I should say, as a mother, child, father, child, parent situation between the two, there's a really nice, beautiful understanding and thoughtfulness that I think derives from the two of these together. And as far as differences, I don't dwell on those because there's always going to be, like I said, we're striving for the positive part of you. And remember, the sun is about the personality. It is one piece of the puzzle. We have 12 planets from the moment that you're born. And you take that beautiful picture that represents your life and your destiny and how the planets will affect you and how you, with free will derive and thrive and accept that and move forward. So those are some of the kind of a synopsis of the two and why I think you do well together. And of course, you can never make up for that instant chemistry that is never necessarily on paper, although sometimes we think it should be. It's there or it's not. And always considering the fact that depending on the sexes of the two of you, there's always going to be differences in the estrogen and testosterone, as well as nature versus nurture, I like to say, how we were raised, what were the conditions. All of those factor into our personalities. And so that's why it's so important that I always recommend that people really, this is like the beginning. If you've never even heard about astrology, this is the door to open up to a vast and deep, deep well of information about yourself, about your partners, your friends, like I said. It's an amazing, beautiful study that's incredibly accurate sometimes. It's frightening at times, but it's also there to guide us and to be our best selves and to have great, committed, beautiful relationships, you know. Life and love is so important, this synonymous aspect of that, which comes through our relationships. So I hope that helped you, and I'm going to go on now to read the general overall but very important energies that will come through for you. And I am using the same deck I did yesterday because it is borrowed for now. And it is such a beautiful deck. It feels good. It's got the shiny silver sides, and it is the deck that is called the Prism Tarot deck. I mean, its vibrancy alone is so beautiful, the illustrations. And so, yeah, if you ever want to, got the third eye looking right at you, if you're interested in knowing and ever want to purchase that, I'm sure that's online. So let me do a couple more shakes here and just shuffles and explain some important parts of this month and the energies that will affect all of us. But like I said, especially the two of you, Pisces and Geminis. And no, like I said, it's Gemini season. We've got completely immersed in our retrograde season, and the planet Mercury retrograde is starting again. That happens like 3 times a year. Most people have heard of it, and yes, it does affect our communication and sometimes our transportation. Things can be slowed down and maybe a little more confusing. I sent I sent an email to somebody just before this video, and I sent it to the wrong person. Yeah. Do I do that on a regular basis? Not at all. Does it happen now? Yes. Double check your emails, your travel plans, because people are starting to travel. You know, just simplify it. It's not the end of the world, but it is a little frustrating at times. It will be in Cancer. That's your sister sign, Pisces. So this affects you maybe more than others, not necessarily, but you know, just being aware and not taking it personally. And we'll get through it. It'll be done by the 12th or so, or the shadow period will be a little longer, the 12th of July. But we're still going to have a bunch of planets. So we're going to slow it down as we start to move forward. That kind of, you know, push me, pull you kind of a vibe is still happening. I highly recommend you take time to love and appreciate each other this month before that big push ahead. And I also want to say that the 2 eclipses that have happened or will be happening. One has already happened in Sagittarius on June 5th, and that was the full moon lunar eclipse that can last 3 to 6 months afterwards and its effects. It's brought to light truth, ideas, teachings, higher learning, education, freedom of speech, equality, you know, good heavens, all the things that are absolutely happening right now. It's phenomenal how synchronistic the astrology is with life. So, you know, whether you believe it or recognize it or you know, study it in any way, watch these channels, which you're watching now, it's absolutely there regardless, and it will affect each of us differently. And, you know, how we receive things is entirely up to us. And I love that part, you know, that we have that free will. But these are guidelines. You may resonate with these energies that I'm going to speak to you about. And it may happen later on in the month. But I will read them to you anyway as complete, divine, loving guidance and take it from there. Then, like I said, finish with some of the beautiful oracle guidance messages that are strictly there to bring us love and some clarity on circumstances that are definitely part of the mix. The first card we have for the 2 of you is the Knight of Wands. Fire, baby. Now that has a lot to do with the energy of the Sagittarius, and interestingly enough, as a side note, every 2.5+ years, we have what we call our North and South Node changing signs. And that happened last month. So the North Node is in Gemini. So Gemini, there's a lot of beautiful indications on your future, in your plans, your purpose for the next 2.5 years in your sign, okay? It's the first time it's changed from Cancer, Capricorn. There'll be one more Cancer, Capricorn eclipse next month, but you know, a lot of that's changing into air for the next few years, and there's going to be huge differences. And it's uplifting, and it's energetic, and it's versatile and changeable, like a Gemini's beautiful personality. So it gives us new insight, and that's really important. But the South Node, which is our past and the parts of life we need to kind of let go of without any real choice in the matter, is Sagittarius. So yeah, that's two important little information I want to say, but that's also Sagittarius being the fire. A lot of passion, a lot of energy moving forward, which the two of you have anyway. You want to reserve it the best you can during retrogrades. In preparation, it's all about reviewing, reevaluating your life, your circumstance, your relationship. But this is all systems go. The night bring messages, and when they bring messages, depending on the element, when it's fire, it's about making it happen and seeing things rather quickly, you know, probably like all of a sudden after waiting and wanting to get back to work, which I'm still doing, it's going to happen. And you're going to be like, whoa, okay, this is the time now to kind of really digest that, figure out what your plan is moving forward, because it's going to be different for all of us. We're not going to just go back and have it be just exactly as it was. And hopefully it's going to be better, like they say, and I believe it is in a lot of ways. And I wish that for you always. So yes, beautiful energy for getting it together. Perhaps you have Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries predominant in your lives right now, known or unknown. Family members, good friends, you know, working together and just making your ideals and your inspirations a reality for yourselves, you know, and it's strong and it's beautiful. And then the next we have is the Page of Swords. So really bringing light to your ideas as an air element, which is Gemini, and really talking through circumstances with each other. You may have some new ideas. There may be a youthful energy here in that element. So maybe a child involved, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, very predominant. Very strong energy for, like I said, truth, coming to light, you know, like it or not, those swords cut through all the BS and they make reality right in front of your face. The eclipses bring in instant changes and endings sometimes, beginnings and endings, necessary for your life in order to proceed. So, but the combination of the fire and the swords, there's just a lot of thought going towards your ideas, you know, and making sure that they're crystal clear in your mind. There's no confusion. The page is the beginning stages. It's the youthful part. It's a new idea. It's a new conversation. Whatever that may be to you, that has a huge amount of possibilities. But I love it. And it's wonderful, you know, because right now when things are starting in the new moon eclipse in Cancer on the 21st, first day of summer, huge new changes affecting your heart, affecting your life, affecting your beliefs, affecting things being brought to light, talked about, communicated. And then the next card you have is the Seven of Swords. So, you know, any kind of conflict within yourselves, with the two of you, with outside influences a lot of times. The seven to me represents just the noise and the distraction of the outside world, the conflicting conversations that we have been dealing with in the last few months. Time to go in, like I said, introspection. Go with what you believe to be true. Stick with each other as a couple and as a friendship and as whatever it is you are in this love connection. And you can conquer and do anything. But know that our thoughts are just that. You know, they're equated to like clouds. They come and they go, and they can take over our minds if we allow it. Just make sure we're thinking beautiful thoughts if that's the case, because that's how our bodies are going to react. That's how our world is going to be around us. And we always want that, you know, and it's easier said than done. At least I feel like I'm more aware of what I am thinking so I can change it. And my body always lets me know as well. When I'm feeling a certain heaviness, and I have been, time to change the thoughts, boy. Take that walk, go into nature, take those deep breaths, get those hugs. Really important. And then you have the 10 of chalices, the 10 of cups. Woo, the ultimate. New cycles. Cups being the water, you know, Pisces. New moon eclipse in Cancer, hugely heartfelt. Great devotion, great love, great compassion. The highest, you know, your cups are full. You see great things for yourselves as a couple, as a friendship, as your love. It's building. You've gone through challenges. Everybody does. You're standing strong. This is a beautiful energy. You've got the fire energy. You've got the swords talking and reminding you to take in what's important, to communicate the things that matter the most to you in a loving, supportive way. And the cups, you know. Love is everything. It's the most important energy. And it's surrounding you, you know, it's family, it's friends, it's a community, it's global. And you two are incredibly caring and loving about pretty much everybody and everything you come into contact with. And it shows in how you speak, you know. Yeah, just beautiful, beautiful energies for you. So I absolutely love that. And like I said, this is almost the middle of June, but this does not have to be for today and today only. It never is. These are messages that are perfect when you hear them and they go forward, because eclipses are about evolving. It's not an, you know, yes, they can end things quickly, but then that brings the story and develops the story further for the 3 to 6 months that they have the power and the energy affecting you. So really, really beautiful. Actually, yeah, through November at least, because that's the full moon in Gemini. That'll really kind of culminate this whole storyline with the eclipses. The third eclipse being July 5th, so not far, about 2 weeks apart. 3 in a row this year. All about changes, transformation, beautiful new beginnings. I know I'm ready for that. I'm going to read to you from this beautiful oracle deck, and I'm absolutely taken by it. I love what it says. I love how it emanates just complete compassion and love for us. And it is the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed. So if you get a chance, you might want to purchase this. I don't get any kickbacks from that. I'm just saying I love it. So yours specifically for the two of you is the Phoenix. Oh, resurrection, surrender to change. Isn't that amazing? I mean, just like I said, the new, the transformative, letting go of things that will not ever be the same, and being grateful about that in so many ways. It's number 29, and 9 plus 2 is 11, which is a magical number, which is 2, which is partnerships. That's what this is about. So let me read to you what it says about the Phoenix. I pray that everything is going to go smoother and smoother for every one of you out there. And, you know, I just send you incredible healing, restorative, loving energy. The Phoenix appears as your ally to celebrate your journey and to ensure your ultimate success. This is true even if it appears that you've just passed through a metaphoric experience of death or are currently enduring a perception of failure in your life. Yep. Death and rebirth are related when you enter the realm of the Phoenix. Seen in this light, nothing truly dies, but rather changes. From one ending directly into new beginnings, the Phoenix is constantly reinventing itself and rises up whole and new and even more powerful with every death it experiences. This could signal an end of a relationship or a dynamic within one, or an end of a job, a project, or even a life. Perhaps no failure is involved, but it's time for a complete overhaul of your circumstances. You may be tired of what you're doing, or you may know intuitively that it is time to move on and try something new. Whatever the case, a death of an old and a celebration of new life are called for. Whatever you do now will indeed be a successful endeavor, for a rebirth is imminent. And I love and feel this incredible, beautiful strength in that. And never fear that, because I know a lot of times people think, change, whoa, we've already gone through a lot of change. Look at, we're here, right? And we're making this work, and we're accepting it, and we're rising up again. And by the way, Gemini and Pisces, I mean, together, especially with that strength alone, you know, your ability to mutable and conform, and to just to be adaptable and changeable. This is easy for you, way more than other signs. So just embrace that and love it, and understand that about your incredible gifts that you have. Let me finish with your super attractor manifestation card, simply meaning that your energy is creating a huge, pretty much everything that's happening in your life. And I know you don't want to hear that at times. I know I don't. But it means that, and when you have that beautiful, loving, good feeling, you're going to bring that back into your lives. You absolutely are. So this is a message about that, just as a mantra. You can say over and over, ooh, the passionate red. And just know that you are creators. You do this in your sleep. It's happening every moment. Why not be the one to orchestrate it and make it be exactly what you want? My true safety lies in my capacity to align with the love of the universe. That is so appropriate for you too. Love is definitely a big part of what you represent. And it's the most important part, really. So great, great love and peace fulfill you in every moment. Once again, I love having you here. I love being able to read. It's like my favorite time of the day. And I hope you'll come back once again. I do, you know, I'm going to continue this throughout the months, and then, you know, just be random, whatever. You can check and see if you'd like. And then I do individual readings for each sign, which would be, you know, starting in July. But in the meantime, please take great care of yourself. We got beautiful new Phoenix energy happening, and you deserve it. So take care until next time. Thank you so much. Bye for now.